Good morning, students. Today we are moving to the last portion of sixth module, that is stability of slopes. And this includes the topics like types of failure, Swedish circle method and friction circle method, factor of safety, stability number and stability chart, methods to improve slope stability. Okay. Um, Before going to this topic, we can discuss what is slope. It is very familiar to you, but this slope is very important in geotechnical engineering in fields like construction of highway and railway, embankments, earth dams, levees and canals. In these situations, there will be so many types of slopes. So we have to discuss the stability of these slopes in these areas. So as a geotechnical engineering, this slope stability, that is slope stability of soil, is very important. Okay, so what is slope? Slope means an exposed ground surface that stands at an angle with the horizontal is called slope. Okay, that is, there will be an exposed ground surface which is standing at an angle with the horizontal. So the angle which is created with this horizontal can be called as slope angle. Okay, and this sloping phase, this will be soil. We are discussing about soil. Okay. So next term is angle of repose. You may be familiar about this term. We can discuss some three cases regarding this angle of repose. That is, first, in the case of dry sand. That is, this is the grain to grain frictional contact between this dry sand. So when we are pouring the dry sand on a ground surface, this will be the angle of repose, or this will be the surface created, or the stable surface created by these sand grains. Okay, so this is the angle of repose. Okay, and if we are pouring some water in this dry sand, what will happen? There will be creation of surface tension, and this there will be due to this thin film of water, there will be surface tension between the grains, and the surface tension of this thin film of water hold these grains together so that it can form a more stable form. Okay, so it can stand like this also, that is, it can increase its angle of repose, because if we are adding some water to the dry sand, it can form a more stable position than the previous one, than the dry condition. Okay, that is a general case. You may be it is very clear, that is, we are adding some water to a dry sand, it can have a more stable structure than the previous one. So this, it can have an angle of repose which is greater than the previous one. Okay, and the third case, if we are adding more water, that is, this sand is fully saturated condition, water saturate the sand, what will happen? At that condition, the water completely surrounds at the grains and eliminate the grain to grain contact. This water, that is, the water which is placing or which is taking the position of the soil grains, will eliminate the grain to grain contact, so it cannot stand, it will form as liquid. Okay, so it cannot stand and there will not be any angle of repose. Okay, this is the three cases of angle of repose in the case of sand: dry sand, wet sand and saturated sand. Okay, so these are the introduction part of this slope. Okay, and what is the aim of this slope stability analysis in our field in soil mechanics? First one, to understand the development and form of natural slope. We have to study the development and formation of natural slope and the processes responsible for different natural features like landslide, earthquake, etc. Okay. Second one, to assess the possibility of landslides involving natural or existing engineered slopes. If there occur any landslide, the soil engineer has to study the reason, or how the landslide occurs, like that. So that is the importance of the slope stability analysis. Next, to analyze landslides and to understand failure mechanism and the influence of environment, both are almost similar in influence of environmental factors. Next, to enable the redesign of failed slopes and planning and design of preventive and remedial measures were necessary. That is, there will be so many types of slope failures. It is very common in the case of railways or in road embankment, or any due to some flood, etc. There will be so many slope failure cases. So we have to redesign the structures at that area, and also we have to provide some preventive and remedial measures, etc. So at that cases, we have to study the stability analysis. Okay. and to study the effect of seismic loadings on slopes and embankments. So these are some of the aims of slope stability analysis. Then we can discuss what are the different types of slopes. First type, firstly, first classification, whether it is natural or man-made. Natural slope means it is created in nature, and man-made we are creating, humans are creating the slopes. That is the first type of classification, natural and man-made. And the example of natural slopes are hillside and valleys, coastline, river cliffs. These are naturally created ones. Then man-made slope means cuttings and embankments for highways and railroads, temporary excavations, waste heaps, that is in the case of landfill slopes. These are created by humans. So these man-made slopes. That is, this is the natural slope created by nature, and this is the man-made slopes created by humans. Next classification, infinite slope and finite slope. From this term itself, infinite slope means slope that extend over a long distance and the condition remain identical along some surface or surface for quite some distance. That is, it extends over long distance. That is infinite slope. And the properties also extend for long distance, and it will be identical along some surface. And in the case of finite slope, slope that connect land at one elevation of land that is not far away, but it is at different elevations. That is connecting the two land of different elevations. Okay, this is infinite slope, and this is finite slope. Land connecting slope connecting lands of different elevation. Finite slope. Why to understand slopes? That is the importance of slopes. Failure of natural slopes, that is landslide, and man-made slopes has resulted in much death and destructions. So we have to understand the slope, sloping angle, the stability of slope, etc. Civil engineers are expected to check the safety of natural and slopes of excavation, and the slope stability analysis consists of determining and comparing the shear stresses developed along the potential rupture surface with the shear strength of the soil. Okay, this involves we have to initially we have to find out the shear strength of the soil, and we have to determine the shear stress that is developed along the potential rupture surface, and we have to compare the shear strength of the soil and the applied shear stress. By comparing this, we can find out what is factor of safety, like that. If the external shear stress exceed the shear strength of the soil, the failure occurs. Okay, the failure or slope failure occurs when the shear stress exceeds the shear strength of the soil. Okay, that you have studied in shear strength. At that time, failure occurs. Okay, then attention has to be paid to geology, surface drainage, groundwater, and the shear strength of the soils in assessing slope stability. When studying the slope stability, we have to focus on these parameters, that is geology, surface drainage, groundwater, shear strength of the soil, etc. Then the slope failure triggering mechanisms are intense rainfall, water level change, seepage water flow, volcanic eruption, earthquake shaking, human activity, etc. And the causes of slope failure are erosion, steady seepage, sudden drawdown, rainfall, earthquake, external loading, construction activities at the top of slope, etc. So these are general factors. So I am not explaining this too much. You just read these portions. Causes of slope failure. Next, we can discuss the types of slope failure. Mainly, uh, mainly there are three types. That is rotational failure. This is the rotational failure. There is a point of rotation like that. Circular surface created. This is the slope failure. Okay. First one, rotational failure. Second one, translational failure. In this type failure like this pattern. I will explain this figure. I am explaining. Then compound slip means the combination of rotational and translational. There will be a circular surface created, and it has to move some horizontal path also. So it is a combination of rotational and translational, that is compound slip. Okay, so translational slide means this is the translational slide, and in the case of translational slide, failure of a slope along a weak zone of soil, failure along the weak zone of soil, and the sliding must travels long distance before coming to rest. Okay, here the sliding mass has to travel somewhat long distance before coming to rest. That is the translational failure. Common case of coarse grained soils. Okay, That is translational failure. That is here failure of a slope along weak zone of soil and the sliding mass travels long distance before coming to rest. And next type is rotational failure. Okay, rotational failure means there will be creation of rotational surface and there will be point of rotation like this. This is a rotational failure. And in rotational failure, and it is common in homogeneous fine-grained soil. The translation is common in coarse-grained soil. It is common in homogeneous fine-grained soil. It has its point of rotation on an imaginary axis parallel to the slope. Okay, and this is very important rotational failure. This is in your syllabus. In the case of rotational failure, there are three types. That is base slide, toe slide, and slope slide. This rotational failure is classified into three types. First one, face slope failure or slip failure. In textbook, it is slip failure, face failure, or slope failure. This type of failure occurs when the slope angle is large and when the soil at the toe portion is strong. That is here. This portion is known as this corner is known as toe. When the failure occurs above this toe, this is known as phase failure or slope failure or slip failure. Okay, failure above this toe surface. So this type of failure occurs when slope angle is large. Here the slope angle will be large and when the soil is at the toe portion is strong. The soil at this portion is strong. This will be the weak soil. So failure will occur above this toe portion. Okay, this is toe. This is the top portion. So in this case of phase failure, the soil at the top portion is strong, so failure will occur above this top portion. Okay, this is phase or slope failure or slip failure. Second type is toe failure. In this case, the failure surface passes through the toe. The failure surface passes through the toe. In the previous one, the failure surface passes above the toe. Here, the failure surface passes through the toe, and this occurs when the slope is steep and homogeneous. Okay, that is toe failure. And the third one is base failure. In this case, the failure surface pass below the toe. Okay, here the failure surface pass below the toe, and this generally occurs when the soil below the toe is relatively weak. Here the soil below the toe is very weak, so it is a failure. In the first case is known as slip failure. Here the failure occurs above the toe and the soil below the toe is strong. And second one, in that case of toe failure, the failure surface pass through the toe. And third one, in the case of base failure, the failure surface pass below the toe and the soil below the toe is weak and soft. Okay, so these are the three types of rotational failure, slope failure. And these are the some practical case of slope failure. This near railway, near the road cuttings, like that. Another example of slope failure. Okay, so this is the introduction of slope failure or stability of slope. It is the first contents in this contents. First one, top, base, and slip failure. It's over. This portion is over. Top failure, base failure, and slip failure. This is the classification of rotational failure. Okay. So today's class is over. You should read the textbook. Okay. Thank you.